Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As a follow-up to my previous video about the Moroccan regime, about opening the eyes of the international community to give them the opportunity to see the reality of the dictatorship that is ruling the country called Morocco, the dictatorship that is going beyond reason in assassinating freedom of speech. This monarchy, who is ruled by, as I said before, by the will and by the decision and by the mood and by the temper of one man. This is like an extension of the dark ages through the 21st century. I'm not exaggerating when I'm using these words, because I know exactly what's going on in Morocco, and that's why in my previous video I called it the dark side of Morocco. Today I will give you some facts, and for that I will try to share with you some of the information. Some of it was published as articles. Some of it is available actually as data that is available in multiple international organizations, either the health organization, the World Health Organization, or other organizations that you can find online. And this is a fact. This is reality. This is not me trying to put this matters out of proportion. So for us to start today, we will start first about some information about this King Mohammed VI. Some of it I stated in my previous video, and today I will provide you with some documentation to support this information. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, today I will try to give you an idea about the disparity that's happening in Morocco. I understand that disparity is happening also in the United States, where, like during COVID, billionaires made a fortune, over $1 trillion fortune. I just heard that today, actually. But we are talking about still, when we talk about the United Nations, when we talk about the United States, or we talk about European countries, especially Western European countries, we still talk about populations that have the fundamental infrastructure. They have fundamental rights and fundamental needs to keep on living. When I talk about Morocco, I talk about 70% of the population living under the line of poverty from an international point of view. This article actually has gathered many information that will give you that general idea. Let's start with this one, which states that this is, I talked about this actually in my previous video. If you want to check it out, I can put the link also in the description. It states that the King of Morocco buys a palace in Paris for 80 million euros. Actually, and it states that actually the source of this information was the Confidential Africa Intelligence, stating that on July 28, which is 2020, which is during the peak of the economy crisis in Morocco, and this is actually right before the king addresses the population, the Moroccan people, addressing them and complaining about how bad the economy is, how the debts are growing, and how the financial condition of the country is not doing good. He bought this palace, and let's have an idea about this palace and give you some facts about it. This was published in Paris, actually, and has verified the Moroccan site. Le Desk also spoke about this information. According to these media, the central mansion extends over no less than 1,000 habitable square meters and has a garden adjoining the Campo de Marte Esplanade, which is located at the foot of the Eiffel Tower. The amount of the purchase remains secret, although both digital companies estimate the value of the home is around 80 million euros. The aforementioned media indicate that the monarch bought the mansion from the Saudi prince Khalid bin Sultan bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, former deputy defense minister of Saudi Arabia, who in turn bought it in 1988 from the real estate magnate Claude Ott. The purchase has been managed through the king's private secretary Munir Majidi and his private lawyer Hisham Nasri. And as I said in my previous video, Munir Majidi, who is the right hand of the king, was also the one that was responsible of that scandal transaction that was included in the Panama Papers when he bought the schooner. It's another yacht that now has the name of Al Bughaz, still owned by King Mohammed VI. And he used like an offshore account that is not legally, who hasn't legally been opened in the Panama. In one of the Panama banks, and that was a scandal actually that was published by WikiLeaks, and it was the same name, Munir Majidi. Munir Majidi was also the one involved in responding to the newspaper Le Monde about the HSBC scandal of money laundering and tax evasion that involved one of the accounts of King Mohammed VI. Anyways, let's keep reading and learning about this. The palace was built in 1912 and is located at 20 Avenue Émile Deschanel. From there to the Eiffel Tower, it takes 9 minutes on foot, according to Google Maps. To the National Palace of the Invalids, 13 minutes walk. It would take 14 minutes to walk to the Louvre Museum and 22 minutes to Notre Dame Cathedral. When he travels, actually, when the King Mohammed VI travels to France for private reasons, usually stays in his castle. He has a castle in Betz. It's a small town. It's like a village of about 1,200 inhabitants, and is located 60 kilometers northeast of the French capital of Paris. So he didn't need to buy another palace in Paris, actually, where he already has a castle 60 kilometers, less than 1 hour driving from the French capital, Paris. And that castle, which sits on 70 hectares, 70 hectares equivalent to 70 football fields, was bought by his father Hassan II in 1972. So this kind of properties, when I will talk about his fortune, we have to remember this kind of things. The King of Morocco also usually spends a good part of his holidays at sea, sailing. In 2019, the monarch bought the Badish One. Badish One is just the name given to that yacht, one of the 10 largest sailing yachts in the world, measuring 70 meters long by 13 meters wide, as published by the Moroccan weekly Telkel. It's a magazine. The amount of the purchase also remains secret, although its previous owner, the American Bill Duker, said he had spent between 60 and 90 million euros on the boat. Also, the king has a love to jewelry too, especially watches, very expensive watches. In 2018, at least a couple of Moroccan media, Ya Biladi and Le Desk, produced a photograph where Mohammed VI was seen with a watch from the Nautilus collection belonging to the Swiss brand Patek Philippe. The watch is a jewel in itself, made of white gold and encrusted with 1,075 diamonds. Its price has not transpired, although estimates range between $500,000 and €1 million. In 2016, actually, when dozen of dignitaries offered the US President Barack Obama a gift on the occasion of his last year as President of the United States, King Mohammed VI of Morocco provided the most expensive gift, or gifts actually. He gave Obama various jewelry as well as a watch set with diamonds and emeralds, the US Federal Register, then valued the 4 articles given from King Mohammed VI of Morocco to former President Barack Obama at about little over $100,000, or little like about 87,500 euros. Of course, President Barack Obama, or former President Barack Obama, could not accept such expensive present, so they were transferred to the National Archives and Records Administration.
And also, in the other hand, we need to see how these people, how the Moroccan people live, to understand exactly this disparity, this huge disparity, this monstrous disparity, and to which I will present you some numbers that I was able to have online from different international organizations.
So, ladies and gentlemen, to try to give you a general idea about the disparities and disparity in Morocco between the ruler and between 70% of the Moroccan population, I have chosen to use the Human Development Index. This index actually tells you, gives you a general idea about how this regime is investing in its own people to help them develop, to help them have a better life, and to help them provide themselves. And if I didn't take a comparison with the European countries or with Asian countries, I took a table that is a comparison to actually countries that are like close to us, either by geography or by culture or by many other common things. And it's like like Morocco compared to Tunisia, Libya, and for example in the North Africa. Tunisia, with a nation or country with the least resources in North Africa, and still it's ranked as, for the Human Development Index, is ranked number 95 in the world. While this is for 2019, of course. While Libya, even during war, it was ranked at position of 105th, while Morocco, with all the resources and with one of the richest ruler in the world and 5th in Africa, was ranked at 121st worldwide. And I mean, recently, actually, about a year or so, the king, in one of his very mediocre speeches, he addressed the population and admitted that the human development projects for the last 10 years have failed completely, and that he doesn't understand why they failed, because he doesn't understand anything apart from making himself one of the richest people of the world. And he did nothing about it, because this is even getting worse. And I'm sure that the numbers for 2020 will be even worse with the pandemics, and they will be even worse with for 2021. And to confirm this numbers, I went to a second source, pardon me, and it states almost the same thing here. This is a ranking based on in the African continent, but also ranking globally. In the African continent, Morocco is ranked number 10. While we have a king who's ranked the richest, number 5 in the continent. And globally, it's 121st. It's exactly, the result is the same. So I have also chosen another index, a very simple index. This is what shows how the population lives. I choose like a very simple thing compared to healthcare systems, which is like hospital bed density, which tells us how many beds this regime provides. So this regime, actually, because we don't have a government, we have a one-man show, which is the king rules everything. How many beds they have in hospitals available for 1,000 population. And unfortunately, I have to scroll all the way down, because we start in rank country, and this is, I guess, it's, if I don't remember correctly, but I think it's for 2018 or 2019. Greenland was number 1, and I don't have time to read all the countries, but I started from number 1, and I have to roll down and down and down, and still no Morocco, and down I would pass by Tunisia, by Iraq that is in a war. I will scroll down Libya, Egypt, and everything. I still have to go down and down and down and down again and again and again and again and yet I didn't make it yet to Morocco, and I passed by Bolivia, by Cameroon, but even by Gaza Strip that lives in one of the worst conditions, Iraq, even worse, Malawi, and Qatar, and for Qatar, actually, because the density of people is very small, so one hospital actually can be satisfying for the whole Qatari people, the real Qatari people. And finally, I can find Morocco ranked 148 with one bed for every 1,000 people.
And it was one bed per 1,000 people. So can you imagine in a pandemics like COVID-19, what would happen to the Moroccan people? That's why I decided that I have to tell the international community about this kind of these disparities, and also to inform them that a dark age dictatorship is still living and doing well in the 21st century, and it's time for the international community to start fighting against this kind of weight that holds the whole international community back. And this is the kind of regimes that puts us with them in the dark ages. This is the kind of regimes that are financing terrorism, financing religious fanaticism, financing drugs and prostitution, and so on and so forth. So this is it and for today, and I will see you very soon in a third video, and thank you for your interest. Have a good day or good evening, or enjoy your weekend.